I'm Claire from Created the Ottaway. I'm an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up! Here in the UK. Thank you for joining me and giving up some of your time just to come and see what today's make is. I'm here to show you something a little bit wow. Wow on the inside. If you've watched any of my videos previously, I really like cards and projects that sort of look unassuming on the outside and then you open them up and wow. So let me just talk you through what we are going to use today. So in the annual catalogue on page 33 there's a little sneaky peek of some very beautiful flowers, okay, and then there's no mention of them anywhere else. Apart from it says paper florist dies, but you sort of skim over that in your excitement to look at all the stamp sets. But if you go to page 165, you will see on this page this little block here, and it says paper florist dies, and it's got them laid out. But again, you don't really know what they are. And then you see somebody's makes of them and you think, oh my goodness. So this is a previous make that I've made for a workshop. I don't know if you can see that because of the reflection on the glass. But how wow is that? Okay, and they are just made of paper. So I'm going to just show you some of the flowers. They start off with like these, and the dies, so let me get the dies out so you can see them. You get two sheets like this. Now this one cuts at the same time all the sizes out. So let me just find the other sizes. I promise I won't waffle about this too much, but I'm just so excited. Okay, so when you die cut that, you do it as one piece and you get all four out and you can make a flower from that. The same with this, it's that shape, which is this sort of shape. And then what you do is layer them. You've got some lovely leaves here. Let me show you the detail on the leaves because it is just amazing. So that's the leaf. And then there's another leaf here. And all sorts. And then these big petals here. If you die cut these, you could end up with a flower that sort of size. So it's just really wow. Oh my goodness, wow, I just need to have it. And then since I've got it, I haven't stopped playing with it. It's just so good. So I was having a little trawl around, looking at everybody's ideas, seeing what I could make, making some of my own. And I came across this really lovely site, Designs by Mism. You can find her on Instagram, you can find her on YouTube, and she's got this rather gorgeous collection of all sorts of things made with her cry cut maker, and you can download the templates and get all sorts from her. I haven't got a big cry cut maker, I've got a cry cut joy, so I thought, wow, surely I could make that. So yes we can. I'm going to show you the one that I made. So you start off with this. It's scored like so that it looks like a book, okay, and it's actually a gift box that opens. But what happens is you open it and inside it is full. Oh, that one's come off there. Hoping that you can see that. It is full of beautiful papers. So it starts off as a box that looks like a book. You open it up and you go, wow, look at that. And that's what we're going to make today. Yes, we are. I promise. You will be able to make it. So I've cut down the instructions as much as I can, and with just your Stampin' Up! Trimmer and some plain card, we can make the gift box, and then you can go away and decorate it however you like and make it your own. So you're going to need an A4 sheet, which in the UK is 8 5/16 by 11 11/16, and we're going to score it on all three sides. We're going to put some tabs on it. We're going to make the pages, this page score lines. Don't worry, I'm going to talk you through this. And then we're going to make the insert for the inside that makes the pop-up bit much easier than it looks. And we're going to put a cover on it. And then we will say, ta-da! So, shall we get making? I promise. Just grab a coffee, take a seat, and come craft. So, the hardest choice is, what colour do you want your book to be? I've gone with Blueberry Bushel this time. I haven't used Blueberry Bushel for a little while. It's back in the Stampin' Up colours. Always been a favourite of mine, but then I like blues and I like greens. So we're going to use Blueberry Bushel as our book cover. Okay, and for the inside, I didn't want to go white this time. So I've gone very vanilla. And you're going to need 2 pieces of very vanilla, one for the actual box and one for the mechanism on the inside. So we put that to one side. So let's concentrate on this first piece. So I'm not doing anything to this A4 size. All I'm going to do is I am going to score it on all 4 sides at 3 centimetres. So luckily on my paper trimmer, the way I use mine with the ruler at the top, on this side it does go as far as 3 centimetres. So I can hold my hand on the card, get a really good purchase on the card, and remember to score and not to cut. So I'm going to move that out of the way, and I'm scoring at 3 centimetres. So honestly, you won't believe how simple this is to make. You're going to be making wow book boxes for everybody. Because I was thinking I might put a little banner inside mine that pops up when it opens, like for a wedding card. Or what else was I thinking? Well, you could use it for a christening, confirmation, a really lovely anniversary box as well. That would be really nice. So now what I've got is all 4 sides. I've got a 3 centimetre score line with the longest piece at the top where you're going to cut or score. So along this blade, I need to score it at 5 1/4. So 5 1/4 is also the same as 13.3 centimetres. So 1, 2, 3. So you're going to do a score line on that side, and then we're going to flip it over, just turn it completely over and do a score line on the other side. So the same with the long piece at the top, and that just gives you your spine of your book. Okay, and that's it. Ta-da! Okay, looks nothing. Well, actually it looks like the basis for a box, which is what it is. So let me go through the sizes again. So you've got an A4 sheet of card, okay, just a normal A4 sheet, and then I've scored on all 4 sides at 3 centimetres, which in inches is 1 3/16. So either do 3 centimetres on all 4 sides or 1 3/16 on all 4 sides. Then with the longest bit at the top, I'm doing this score line here, which is 13.3 centimetres or 5 1/4 inches, whichever you prefer. And then I flip it round and do exactly the same again, 13.3, or if you work in inches, 5 1/4. And that gives me the shape that I need. Now before I do any cutting, I'm going to do the grooves on my box, which make it look like pages. Okay, so one of these sides of your box is going to be the top and one is going to be the bottom. Doesn't matter which side you decide to use. I'm going to go with this side just because I can see this side. Now on this first piece here, so where that score line is, I'm going to do some score lines right down the whole length at every 1/2 inch, okay, 1/2 centimetre. So at 1/2 centimetre, let me do one and then I'll tell you what it is in inches. So 1/2 centimetre is 1/2 centimetre. Oh my goodness, my brain won't work. It's 3 3/16. Okay, so I've done it at 1/2 centimetre, then I do it at 1, and you're still scoring, and then I do it at 1 1/2, and then at 2 and 2 1/2. So every 3/16, or I don't know if you can see. Can you see there's several score lines going top to bottom along there, and when that's folded that will give my gift box the look of being a page. Now because I've done that side, I now need to do this little rectangle here and this rectangle here exactly the same, but just on the rectangle bits. So I am going to do them the same every 1/2 centimetre or every 3/16. So I'll do it in centimetres because it's easier to see. So it's 2, 1 1/2. I know this is fiddly, as in trying to do these score lines every 1/2 centimetre, but I promise you it's worth it because it just gives that little bit of detail that makes your gift special. That's it. So that one, now I'm going to turn it round because I've got lines there and lines along, and I just want lines on this side here. So I'm going to do that from the bottom because it's easy to see. Just move that up so you can see it. So every 1/2, so I've done 1/2, I'm going to do 1, and then 1 1/2, with slip sliding, and then 2, and then 2 1/2, and we are done. Okay, so let's move that out the way. So I'm going to bring it back round so it's laying out on my paper, and I'm going to do the tabs. Now what you will notice is there's almost a square at either end and then one in the middle, and you just cut up to the score line. So the first score line on each of those lines. The reflection is making it really tricky to see. It's gone like winter here. It's really autumnal. It's windy, it's rainy, it's dark. It's like the middle of the day and you need your lights on. Not that I'm complaining, goodness me, no. So once you've done those ones, 1 2 3, okay, turn it round and do the other exactly the same in exactly the same place. So 1 there, and then the last one on the end there. Now what I would normally do is cut off a really big sort of chunk either side of the tab so that it will fold round and make a nice corner, because you're going to see these. So when the box is open you do see the corners. So what I tend to do is I still cut a little bit off, but not so big, so it's not so noticeable. Oh, that's probably a bit too small. So it still gives me a bit of play. Can you see that? So it's still a triangle, but it's not a big triangle. Let's just cut from that side. It's always easier to cut away from you. And you do that on all of them. So it just gives you a nicer corner. But remember, you don't want a big triangle. So literally, that's how small a triangle I'm cutting off on each side. Ooh. Does that one come off? Yeah. So excited for you to make one of these. Literally, when I made it, I was like, oh my god, that's so lovely. I'm so excited by what I've made. Okay, we recently did this on a team craft retreat. So we had a summer day retreat, just to try and make us feel a bit more summery, really. It's just been pretty gloomy. So we did lots of bright colours. We used lots of the new colours that Stampin' Up! Have brought in, like lemon lolly and bubble bath. I want to say bubble gum every time I say that. Really lovely, vibrant colours. And we did have a fantastic day. And this was one of the makes from there. So if you're, wherever you are in the world, if you've got a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator near you, go jump on their team, because you will have the best time ever. They're all about sharing and creating together. Quite often they do classes, all sorts of things. Right, so this is my box. So I'm actually going to turn it into a box now. Now it's really important. What you're going to do is the side that hasn't got any score lines on, you're going to turn that into the bottom of the box. So how I'm going to do that is burnish all the sides, or all the score lines. So just make sure your box knows what you want it to do, where you want it to fold. You can do that with a bone folder, or you can just firm it over with your hands. It's entirely up to you. It depends how crisp a finish you want. For speed, I'm just going to go over like this. And remember, what I'm going to do is make the bottom of this box the one that hasn't got any score lines. So I tend to put glue on all 4 of my tabs in one go, just because it saves me trying to get glue into an awkward place. And it seems to work for me. So I'm putting glue on all 4 of the tabs, but I'm going to concentrate on one at a time. So this one is going to go there, like so. That's my first one. So this is the front of the box. Okay, just like that. Just make sure that that looks nice. And then this bit is the back of my box. So these tabs haven't got any score lines. The bottom of my box hasn't got any score lines. So none of these sides have got score lines on. And I'm just bringing it round and just making sure that that is a box. So I've just folded that back out the way so I can see. Okay, so that's the bottom of my box. Now this side with the score lines, I'm now going to make this into the lid. Now the reason that you'd make sure that this is the lid is because this will now fold over the other piece of your box. So if you've got the score lines on the bottom, you're going to hide them. So that's just going to go there, like so. And this one is going to go here. Okay. And then basically that's your gift box. So if you just wanted to make a gift box that looks like a book, you're practically there. And then what should happen is that just fits inside. Ta-da! And you've got your score lines there, your score lines there, all round. So now that's just ready to open like so. Ta-da! How exciting is that? Right, put that to one side. Let's do this piece now, the inside mechanism. So bring your paper back in, and you want a piece that is 14.5 centimetres or 5 3/4. Okay, and you're going to cut that off. It's sort of about half of the, well, slightly less than half of the A4, so 14.5 or 5 3/4, and you're going to turn it, and this needs to be 19.7 centimetres, so 19.7 or 7 3/4. Okay, so there's just a little bit there cut off, so you end up with a size like that. And we are going to score on either end at 2.5 centimetres. So 2.5 centimetres, which is 1 inch. Oh, not the cutting. Goodness me, nearly cut it off. Spin it round and do 2.5 again, or 1 inch. Okay. Bring that arm back in so that's not in the way. Okay, then that just gets folded over. So you've got those pieces folded over. Now what you're going to do, you're going to go from this point here to this point here. So you're going to do a score line. So I'm going to line it up with my cutting guide. Hang on, Rose, I'll be there in a minute. Now is always the time that the cat comes along and wants letting out. Okay, so you've got that shape going across. Now we're going to do this corner to this corner. Can you just wait a sec? Let me do this score line. Just there. Da, da, da. And do that one. Okay. So you've now got a cross going across there, okay? And then what you're going to do is you're going to do one more score line across the middle. So make sure that it goes right through the middle of there, and you should be able to see on your paper trimmer where the cross is, and you just score that. Okay. So you've got one going across, and then it's like a star but without that point. Let me let Rosie out. Go on then. Get there. One happy cat. Okay, so what you're going to do now is these side pieces, like this and this, they are going to fold in. So that folds in like that, that folds in like that. You end up, well, it looks like one of those party hats or sailor hats, or so it's like that, okay, that shape. So let me put that back out. So these sides come in, both sides, fold down to there, and then you end up with that shape. So it's the same both sides, and it opens out like that. Okay, so if you bring your box back over, I'm going to open it out and I'll show you where to put it. If you fold that back out the middle, now the glue goes on this tab and this tab. I'm going to put it on one side to start with, just on there. Oh, don't want it spreading out everywhere. The point needs to touch the back but not go over it. So if you've got your box standing like that, you're going to place this in and put your box and just eyeball it. Just have a look. It's touching the back but not pressing against it. And this is here. It looks straight. Have a little look how much room is between here and here, just for yourself. And that's going to open like so. So now what I'm going to do is put some glue on this side. Okay. And this will be tricky for you to see on camera, especially as it's very vanilla. So I'm going to close it. I'm going to let that go gently. Close it almost. Spin it over so it's now upside down. So the glued bit is at the top. And I'm just going to have a look where the back piece is, because I want it to be not overlapping, but I don't want it too forward. So remember when we looked at the other one, we looked at where it was, how much room. So before you press it down, open it and close it. Does it look about the right place? If it does, spin it back round and press that flat. And that, just shut it a few times, open it. That gives you that opening mechanism. Okay, if I do it like that, can you see it a bit better? So it folds flat like that, and then it opens like that. We're nearly there. Okay, so now we do the cover. Let's put that out of the way. So bring your coloured cover back in. And this is really cool. We're going to cut this so it's 16 centimetres by 26. So I'm going to do the 26 first. So 26 is 10 1/4. So let's do that first. Okay, so we've got that bit we don't need. And then 16 centimetres is 6 1/4. Now on the Stampin' Up! Trimmer, it's a bit of a pain because it's right on that line there. So just take it to the edge there and that will be about right. Okay. So that's my rectangle cover. Turn it back round so this long bit is at the top, and we're going to score it at 11 and 15 centimetres, or 4 5/16 by 5 7/8. So 11 centimetres. Amber, it's not a good move to get up on the craft table, lovey. And 15 centimetres. And that will give my spine for my book. Okay, let's move that out the way. Okay, now there's one last thing to do. So I've got a really old mouse mat that's covered in glue, all sorts. I've just burnished my score lines. Now I need this spine to sort of have a bit of a curve so that when I've got my book, it's like that. Okay, so what you need to do is just break down the fibres a little bit in your spine. So just on that spine, just rub over with a bone folder, or if you've got something like this, which is a big embossing, just break down those fibres on your spine just by rubbing them. Okay. So you're not trying to shape them in any particular way, you're just letting them just split a little bit. So now you can see there's a bit of texture on my spine. Put that back out the way. So you need to concentrate on the top of your box first. So look at where the opening is. Okay, so this is the top of my box. I am smothering the lid in glue. Okay, just all over, put some glue, because this is going to be the front cover of your box. Now this edge, so not the opening edge, the opposite edge, I'm going to put in line with this score line here. So the very first score line. Probably have to bring that bit nearer me so that I can see it. And I'm aiming to put it in the middle, so there's a bit of an edge all round my book. And I'm just going to hold that down in place. I might even open it up and just press it down inside, just so that I know it's all glued in all of the places. And let's have a look. Yep, so that's all nicely glued. Turn your box over and put some glue on the bottom of your box. Okay, now this edge here has got to be here. So that's why you've broken down the fibres a bit. So concentrate on getting that edge there, and then bring it, fold it over and just press down flat, the same as you did on the other side. And just press inside wherever you can get your fingers, and that should be your box. Ta-da! How cool is that? Look, you've got a pop-up book that you can use for so many different things. So excited by that. Look at that. You could put a little label on the front. If you stamped before, you could put like a name of a book on the spine. All sorts of things. I absolutely love this box. I can see me doing it different sizes and just making it something special. Now the flowers, let me just show you one of the flowers that I did. So let's have a look inside. When you are sticking your flowers in, try and remember that this side and this side are the ones that are going to fold in. So you can put quite a few here on this bit and quite a few on this bit, but be wary of how much you put on the folding mechanism. Just keep checking that it's shutting when you do it. Okay, so one of the flowers that I did, just very quickly, I've got these shapes, this one and this one, and I just used my big ballpoint pen and I just rub it over and shape them. Okay, just like that, just literally rubbing it as hard as I can on the mouse mat. And this one here, I'm going to press down with the end of the pen like that. Okay, then I put a bit of glue right in the middle, put that one on like so. Press it on with the pen, put a bit more glue there. What makes flowers look more real is the layers. If you just do one layer, it doesn't look like it's a real flower. But if you do a few different layers, because that's what most flowers are for, made of, they're made up of so many different layers. Just going to bring that round a bit. So it might not work quite so well while the glue is setting, but already you can see that's got a different take on it. Just going to put a little blob of glue in there for the next one, and before I put that in, I'm just bringing it all round so that it's like that, and then I've got more control over where it's going. Just hold it in place for a minute, and already you can see it's given it a really nice shape. Just go down in sizes, and then this one is for the middle, and again I'm just going to squash it all round like that. I'm going to add some glue on there. If you add the glue to the flower rather than the bit you're holding, you've got more control over where this bit is going. And just place that on. Look at that. Okay. And then I added mine with dimensionals. So rather than putting loads of glue, I just put a dimensional on the back of that. And then I opened my box and decided where I want that to go. And I do my flowers first and then add the leaves afterwards. But that is how you make a book of flowers gift box. Ta-da! Thank you for watching. I hope you get as excited as me about this make. Please share your creations and what you come up with. I cannot wait to see them. If you like what you've seen, subscribe to my videos. I try and do a video at least once a week. Always something to get excited about. It would really help me if you're in the UK or Ireland, you shop with me. That will keep me creating and doing what I love. And you're in a win-win really, because Stampin' Up products are just amazing. So thanks for watching. Happy crafting.